name is Jim Elick, and I am an FAA Aviation Safety Inspector, and my field of expertise is avionics. I began this very exciting career in 1976, almost 45 years ago. I've been employed at large airlines as well as large aircraft manufacturers. I have been with the FAA for 11 years now. I have a bachelor's in professional aeronautics as well as an MBA. I want to welcome you today. And so on your computers, under the Flight Standards booth, you can find our activity. It is under our documents, and you can download it at your leisure. Please feel free to do that. Now that you've located our activity scenario, please allow me to walk you through it. There are many exciting jobs in aviation that are fun and full of adventure. I am living proof of this. However, what happens when something goes wrong? I want you to think about that for a second when we begin our scenario. So think about this, if you will. With a complete engine failure in progress from an undetermined cause, the engine is on fire and it's subsequently shut down by the flight crews. Engine and aircraft parts continue to separate themselves and fall freely to the ground in populated areas. We want you to look at the photo to the left of your activity sheet. Imagine yourself looking out of the airplane window and this engine is on fire. Do you ever wonder why pilots need to be trained? Let's see if we can help you with this. If you would brief your activity sheet here to the 5 questions on the bottom of the sheet, let's look at number 1 for just a second. Without training, how would the pilots know how to fly the airplane with only one engine? This sounds scary, right? But it's important to understand that these 2-engine airplanes are manufactured and certified by us, the Federal Aviation Administration, to fly on just a single engine for lengthy time periods. This requires special procedures, and it is important for the pilots to be properly trained in these critical areas. Without training, how would the pilots know how to contact air traffic control, ATC, that they have an emergency and they need to return to the airport or nearest suitable airport immediately? All of these aircraft are equipped with a vast array of communications equipment. There are several different types of radios installed, and the flight crews are specially trained to not only know which radio to use, but what exactly to say as they declare an in-flight emergency. So without the training on emergency procedures, how would the pilots know how to fight the engine fire? Let's look at this for a second. What if the engine fire develops as a result of a mechanical failure? The pilot must know how to extinguish the fire, right? Just like the radios we spoke about earlier, there are several onboard fire suppression systems installed on each aircraft. Many of them detect smoke and actually have fire extinguishers installed to fight the fire while in flight. Don't you think it's important for the flight crews to know how to operate them? These systems can be quite complex. It's very, very important for the pilots to know these emergency procedures. Let's look at the 4th point. How would the pilots know how to contact the flight attendants and passengers about this situation without any training or instructions? Do you think it's important for the pilots to tell the flight attendants and us, the passengers, what's going on? Remember now, you just looked outside of the airplane window and saw the engine missing parts, and it was shaking, and there's an engine fire as well. So again, there's another type of radio on these aircraft. This one is called a public address system, that the pilots can actually speak to all of us and let us know exactly what the plans are, what we might need to do. But if they only want to speak with the flight attendants in private, they can select that feature only on the same radio handset. It's very important that they understand how to operate these important communication devices. And this is why the pilots go through such rigorous training. Can you imagine when you're calling a flight attendant and you're speaking to them, arm the doors, assume the brace position, other terms like that that could alarm the passengers, and the audio is actually coming over the cabin to the passengers. The flight crews need to understand how to operate these devices, and that makes this training even more important. So fifth and finally today, after the emergency landing, how would the pilots know how to evacuate the airplane? After an emergency landing, how would the pilots know if they even need to evacuate the airplane? It's very important for the pilots to be properly trained for this. They first have to know if an evacuation is even necessary based on the circumstances. You all remember the miracle on the Hudson, where the airplane crash landed into the river? The airplane was sinking. That was clearly an aircraft evacuation event. The pilots have to make this decision on the spur of the moment. They many times don't have any time to react. Let's say the engine was on fire after landing and an evacuation would be necessary. Wouldn't you want the pilots to be trained well in order to do this? Why? Well, you wouldn't open the aircraft doors on the same side that the engine was on fire, would you? Sure, you would not. Also, the pilots communicate with the flight attendants in order to give the command to commence the actual evacuation, which the flight attendants are abundantly trained for. So they all have to be very well versed and technically trained in these areas, just in case. So finally today, I appreciate your time and spending it with us so you can see how this all comes together. We at the FAA ensure that these pilots and flight crews are well trained and qualified for these episodes and many others, important ones just like these. We hope that this brief activity provides you a better understanding of some of the things we do as an agency, and that you are encouraged about our careers and what they can provide you. We wish you the best in your future endeavors, and always remember STEM. Science and mathematics today will bring you engineering and technology tomorrow. Because after all, the sky is your limit.